Hey, it's Marley and welcome to a new TBR video. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my August TBR, aka my August reading plans. As always, I'm going to have a few books that I'm reading for my reading blog for the month. I always do a themed reading blog, so I'm going to share 5 books with you that I'm going to read for that reading blog. I'm very excited about that reading blog concept, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Then I also have a book club that I do with my friends, and then normally I always do a TBR game to figure out the rest of my TBR. So whether that's, using songs to pick my TBR, using the TBR cards that I have, different things like that. But the past few months, I have not been completing my TBRs. That is very weird for me. If you've watched any of my TBR videos, for the past few years, you might notice that I always read all the books on my TBR, but that has not been happening the last few months. The different prompts that I've been getting have just been giving me either books that are very long or books I'm not totally interested in. And also just, life's been crazy. I've been busy. So that's a few reasons I haven't been finishing my TBRs. So I thought it would just be a good idea this month to take a little break from those games and just mood read a concept. This is definitely something I don't find myself doing very much. I'm not a mood reader. I very much like to follow a planned TBR. So I'm kind of combining that, technically I'm mood reading in a way because I'm not going to pick my books based on any sort of game. I'm just picking them myself. That being said, I have picked them out already, so it's still kind of like a planned TBR. But anyways, let's start out with the books I'm going to be reading for that secret themed reading blog. Not gonna lie, I didn't prep a lot for this video, so I might just end up reading the descriptions off Goodreads a little bit. So one of the books that I plan on reading is called The Reader. So there you go. Is by Bernhard Schlink. Translator is Carol Brown Janeway. So I'll just read the description quickly here for you. Hailed for its coiled eroticism and the moral claims it makes upon the reader, this mesmerizing novel is a story of love and secrets, horror and compassion, unfolding against the haunted landscape of post-war Germany. When he falls ill on his way home from school, 15-year-old Michael Berg is rescued by Hannah, a woman twice his age. In time, she becomes his lover. Then she inexplicably disappears. When Michael sees her next, he is a young law student and she is on trial for a hideous crime. As he watches her refuse to defend her innocence, Michael gradually realizes that Hannah may be guarding a secret she considers more shameful than murder. So definitely a little bit out of my comfort zone here with this one. I don't read a ton of historical fictions, non-American or North American fictions. So this should be interesting, but I thought this plot sounded intriguing. Scandalous. Next we have The Rachel Incident, and this is by Caroline O'Donnell. Let's see what this one says. A brilliantly funny novel about friends, lovers, Ireland in chaos, and a young woman desperately trying to manage all three. Definitely giving Sally Rooney vibes, and I am a fan of Sally Rooney. Rachel is a student working at a bookstore when she meets James, and it's love at first sight. Effervescent and insistently heterosexual, James soon invites Rachel to be his roommate, and the two begin a friendship that changes the course of both their lives forever. Together they run riot through the streets of Cork City, trying to maintain a bohemian existence while the threat of the financial crash looms before them. When Rachel falls in love with her married professor, James helps her devise a reading at their local bookstore with the goal that she might seduce him afterwards. But Fred has other desires, so begins a series of secrets and compromises that intertwine the fates of James, Rachel, Fred, and Fred's glamorous, well-connected wife. Aching with unrequited love, shot through with delicious, sparkling humor, The Rachel Incident is a triumph. So it's definitely giving Conversation with Friends by Sally Rooney and messiness and drama. So I love that. Okay, next one for that blog is going to be The Bird Tribunal by Agnes Ravatn, translated by Rosie Hedger. So this one says, again, apologize for reading so much. TV presenter Alice Hagtorn leaves her partner and her job to take voluntary exile in in a remote house on an isolated fjord. But her new job as housekeeper and gardener is not all that it seems, and her silent, surly employer is not the old man she expected. As they await the return of his wife from her travels, their silent, uneasy encounter develops into a chilling, obsessive relationship, and it becomes clear that atonement for past sins may not be enough. Haunting, consuming, and powerful, The Tribunal is a taut, exquisitely written psychological thriller that builds a shocking, dramatic crescendo that will leave you breathless. Another book that is giving tea. This one definitely sounds really intriguing too. A psychological thriller. I always love that. And it sounds very dramatic as well. Okay, I'm getting very excited for this vlog reading these. Okay, next book on the list is Under the Skin by Michel Faber. Iserly picks up hitchhikers with big muscles. She herself is tiny, like a kid peering up over the steering wheel. She has a remarkable face and wears the thickest corrective lenses anyone has ever seen. Her posture is suggestive of some spinal problem. Her breasts are perfect, perhaps implants. She is strangely erotic, yet somehow grotesque, vulnerable yet threatening. Her hitchhikers are a mixed bunch of men, trailer trash and traveling post-grads, thugs and philosophers. But Iserly is only interested in whether they have families and whether they have muscles. Then it's only a question of how long she can endure her pain, physical and spiritual, and their conversation. At once humane and horrifying, Under the Skin takes us on a heart-thumping ride through dangerous territory, our own moral instincts, and the boundaries of compassion. So this one sounds pretty weird, maybe more vague. It is a horror, and it says science fiction and fantasy and thriller. So I think there's a lot going on here. And then the last one for that vlog is called The Details, and this is by Ia Genberg, translation by Kira Josephson. So once again, I'll read it out. A woman lies bedridden from a high fever. Suddenly, she is struck with an urge to revisit a novel from her past. Inside the book is an inscription, a get-well-soon message from Jana, an ex-girlfriend who is now a famous television host. As she flips through the book, pages from the woman's own past begin to come alive, scenes of events and people she cannot forget. There are moments with Joanna and Nikki, the friend who disappeared years ago, without a phone number or an address, and with no online footprint. There is Alejandro, who gleefully campaigns for a baby, even though he knows their love has no future, and Bridget, whose elusive qualities mask a painful secret. The Details is a novel built around 4 portraits. The small details that piece together comprise a life. Can a loved one really disappear? Who is the real subject of the portrait? The person being painted or the one holding the brush? Do we fully become ourselves through our connections to others? This exhilarating, provocative tale raises profound questions about the nature of relationships and how we tell our stories. The result is an intimate and illuminating study of what it means to be human. So this is tagged as fiction, contemporary, queer. So another interesting one there. So those are going to be the books for that vlog. Again, if any of these books intrigued you or you want to hear my thoughts, look out for that vlog next month. Oh shoot, there's one more book. Okay, there's one more book for this vlog. Okay, the last one is Seeing People Off by Jana Beňová, translated by Janet Livingston. This one, Seeing People Off, follows Elsa and Ian, a young couple living in a humongous apartment complex outside Bratislava, where the walls play music and talk and time is immaterial. Drawing on her memories, everyday interactions, observations of post-socialist realities, and Elsa's attraction to actor Callisto Tanzi, Seeing People Off is a kaleidoscopic, poetic, and deeply funny portrait of a relationship. So this one basically just seems like it's about a relationship. It seems like the most maybe clear-cut one. Okay, moving on. Now for my book club pick with my friends, we decided to read a thriller because we've been reading so many romances lately. And so I suggested Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera, which I've been hearing very good things about on BookTube the last couple months. And this one is basically about these two friends. I guess years ago, the one friend got murdered, and it looked like it was the other friend who killed her because she was found wandering around with her friend's blood on her. But I don't think it was ever proven. And now it's years later. This girl has moved on with her life. But of course, as so many thrillers have been doing recently, there's a podcast element where this guy's doing some sort of true crime podcast trying to delve into this mystery and figure out what really happened to this girl. So then our main character gets dragged back into it. I don't even know if she knows herself whether she killed her friend or not. So that's what we're trying to uncover. The podcast thriller has definitely been overdone, but as I said, I've been seeing good things about this book. So I'm hoping it will be pretty fun. And I've missed reading thrillers. I just have not been reading as many thrillers as I would like. So I am looking forward to this one. Then, as I said, of course, I want to mood read. So since we already have 6 books on my plate, I only chose 2 books that I think are going to be my mood reading books that I just randomly kind of picked from my physical TBR. The first one is The Only Survivors by Miranda, which is clearly a thriller. The reason I picked this is because, one, it was a Christmas gift from my friend when we do our little swap of annotating books, and it's honestly really bad that I have not read this yet. She read it and annotated it for me, and I just have not, because of my TBR games, like it never fit one of my prompts, so I just haven't read it yet. So that's why I really need to read it, see what my friend thought, so I can finally talk to her about it. Also, I want to read it number 2 because, as I just said before, I'm trying to read more thrillers because I haven't been doing it the first half of the year. So in this one, I think it's about a group of people who are in this accident, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, there were these bands of high schoolers who got in a crash, and it was this big tragedy, and 9 students escaped. And now, since then, I think they always meet up and kind of check out on each other and make sure they're doing okay. And then all of a sudden, for the 10th anniversary, one of the survivors is gone. So now they're down to 7. And so yeah, it seems like the survivors, I think, are now being killed off. So that's obviously suspicious. Not gonna lie, I feel like I have not heard the best things about this. And I don't think my friend loved it that much. But you know what? Hopefully it's still a quick, relatively fun time. I have not read from this author yet before, so at least I'm trying out a new thriller author with this. I wanted to prioritize Attached at the Hip by Riccio. This is a rom-com book. Christine Riccio is a YouTuber she was the OG booktuber that I started watching. She still makes some content online, but she's also become an author. And I read her 2 previous books, and I'm not gonna lie, like, they've not been my favorite, but I do enjoy purchasing her books and reading them to support her because, you know, I have been following her for years, so I feel a sense of loyalty. So I do want to check out her 3rd book and see how it is. The premise is pretty fun in that it's about a reality show competition. I think the main girl applies thinking it's Survivor, but then it's actually a spin-off version of Survivor where it's actually a dating reality show. So she gets linked, I think they get literally attached at the hip with this rope to an ex of hers, and they have to compete together. And so it's like a second chance romance kind of trope. It sounds like a really fun premise. I'm wondering if, you know, some of the issues I had with her previous books will be resolved or not. To say one of the issues I've had in the past is that her books are too long. So looking at this, it does seem like it's almost 400 pages, so maybe that hasn't been resolved. I don't know, but stay tuned for my wrap up, and hopefully I will have finished this and can share my thoughts. So that is the TBR for August. Honestly, I'm really psyched about it. I'm really excited for that vlog I'm doing. I think the book club book I picked is going to be a good one too. And then I'm honestly really happy that I'm finally mood reading after the last couple of TBRs have not gone my way and have not really been the books I wanted to prioritize. I'm happy to finally be like picking my own TBR for myself. Thank you so much for watching this video. Definitely leave me a comment below if you have thoughts on any of these books or maybe a guess of what my themed reading vlog is. And I hope you have a great reading month and a great rest of your summer. I'll catch you guys next time in my next video. Bye!